Providence, hard-fought battle against Western Kentucky, completely different opponent than what we just faced in Missouri. They play the fourth fastest pace in the country. They shoot about 37 threes a game. They stretch the floor, five out. It is the college version of what the Houston Rockets are. So it's going to be a great challenge for our guys, seeing how they respond from executing a game plan at Missouri to completely different attack against Alabama tomorrow at 6 p.m.
Thank you. We'll go to Grant Ramey, then Ben McKee.
You guys have gotten off to really fast starts in, I think, 4 or 5 of the 7 games so far. Where does that come from with this team?
Honestly, I think it comes from practice. Coach Barnes is very demanding of our guys. He harps our guys paying attention and taking care of the details, as he likes to say. And when we go over our offense, we go at it at a speed that is conducive to the game. I tell our guys, our offense gets to go against one of the best defenses in the nation every single day in practice. So I think that in itself, and our defense gets to go against our offense every day. So I think that iron sharpens iron mentality helps our guys out a lot when the game starts.
Coach, you talk about this Alabama team being the Houston Rockets version of college basketball. Will this be the toughest test for y'all's perimeter defense, and what do y'all need to do well to kind of slow them down?
I think we've had a few tough opponents in there. They're tough. They're tough in different ways. Missouri was tough from a standpoint of the speed of Xavier Pinson. Cincinnati, the talent of Keith Williams. UC Upstate, the kid Bruner. McKinley Wright from Colorado. So we faced a different type of tough perimeter opponents all season. But this toughness is going to come in the form of you're facing guards and forwards because it's 5 out. Alex Reese, Jason Bruner, transfer from Yale, Rojas, JUCO transfer. These are 6'10" guys that are very good three-point shooters. So back to your point about the toughness on the perimeter, in the past, it's been St. Joe's guys, they were really good shooters. The Missouri guards, really good driver. These Alabama guards, Javon Quinterly can shoot with the best of them and can drive with the best of them. Petty can shoot with the best of them and can jump like E. Pons. So putting that together makes it a very tough challenge for our guys, but it'll be a great opportunity for us to see what we got.
Ryan Shumpert and Rob Lewis.
Hey, Coach, I was just wondering if you go back to kind of the start of SEC play last season, where have you seen Santiago and Josiah's games grow the most?
Well, Santi, his ball security has grown quite a bit from them. And Josiah, just his all-around game. Josiah's benefited from a lot since he's been here. And I think, two of the things that has been a big reason for the maturity in Josiah's game is, one, the amount of minutes he played last year. 30 minutes a game as a freshman. He got real-life game time experience on the job. And also with Josiah, his ability to play the 1, 2, 3, 4 for us. He's played all over the court. He knows every position, all the nuances of every spot, and our guys just respect him. So he's, I like to say Josiah has found his game at Tennessee. He's found who he is, and that's a smart, talented, jump shooting, rebounding, playmaking point wing. And Santi is, again, what he has been through is really fascinating for him to come in the middle of the season. And we were talking about it whoever our third opponent was this season, I think it was Appalachian State. When we played Appalachian State, that was the first time Santi Vescovi had not played against a high major basketball program. He had only played SEC opponents, Colorado, Kansas, Cincinnati at that point. So, he's learned on the job in a major way, and he's settled back into what he does best is run our team and shoot open shots.
Coach, you were a really good college guard. You know what good guard play looks like. Just what can you say about your 5-man rotation that you have on the perimeter right now? How talented are they, and how impressive is the chemistry that you got 5 guys that would be starters probably anywhere, and they don't seem to grumble about minutes, and they're rooting for each other?
Yeah, those guys aren't, worried about starting. We think we have 8 starters. All those guys have tremendous value. All those guys will, I was looking back, Devontae Gaines, who's outside of that 5-man core rotation, finished the game last season at Alabama. So all those guys bring something different, whether it's shooting, defense, driving, passing, playmaking, and they've all had their moments. And I think it's what makes us potentially a difficult team to defend is you don't know who the go-to man is at Tennessee. It's because the go-to man is the open player. It's the open player that time down the floor. That's our go-to guy. Pass the open man the ball. And, we have not a selfish player on our team. These plays aren't for you. These plays are for us. And they accept that mentality and roll. And the young guys challenge the old guys in practice every day. And the old guys are picking up the young guys. I remember a game, Devontae Gaines had back-to-back DMPs, I think. And we were in practice. And Jaden or Keon was struggling guarding a play. And I just stood on the side and I watched Ticket grab Jaden and kind of like coach him through how to navigate this screen or get around the thing. I just took a moment to pause on the side and that's something different. That's different. You don't see that a lot on teams, and that type of brotherhood and camaraderie usually leads to good.
Jordan Kramer and Mike Wilson.
Hey, Cam, I know last year you and Victor Bailey played a series of one-on-one prior to game day prior to the games or kind of the duration of the season. I was curious how that series came about, and if for him just getting in that function of having almost a game day routine and doing that when he wasn't playing, if you've seen that be able to transition to this year.
Well, well, I don't know if you asked this, but I dominated the series. But how it came about is it's something that I've done since I got into coaching. Any player that we had redshirting, I kind of use it as their game day because it was a game. So I made it instead of just another individual shooting workout, conditioning workout, I made it a game. I did it at Tulsa, Colorado, and at Tennessee as well. And it became competitive. And it was great for him. It was great for him. And, hopefully he got to take, some of his only L's on Thompson-Boling Arena court. But it's helped him. It's helped him see the game from a different lens, defensively especially. And I hope it helped him.
Do you have a series record then officially? I know you said you dominated, but do we have a number down?
It's officially 6-4. That's a good follow-up question. I was going to leave it at dominated, but it was a 6-4 series win. And I may have not played the last few home games just to keep the two-game lead.
Kim, a lot of Alabama's roster are guys that have been there for a while, but what are Quinterly and Bruner bringing that makes them look a little bit different than maybe they have in the past?
Well, Bruner is his ability to stretch the floor and play hard. Usually when you have stretch bigs, they're kind of prima donnas. I don't want to use the term soft, but usually not at all with Bruner. He is a really good shooter. He has great size and he's incredibly tough. I think he has 9 block shots. He takes charges. He's on the floor just as much as you'd expect a 5'11" scrappy guy. Tremendous IQ. Obviously, He transferred from Yale. And Quinterly's skill level is tremendous. Obviously, a former McDonald's All-American, 5-star prospect. He's really seemed to find his game at Alabama. You know, I remember watching him struggle as a freshman in stretches in the Big East. His game has opened up. His drive game, his shot, his off the bounce, his playmaking. He may be the most talented guard we've faced to this point, along with McKinley Wright.
Then there was that photo of 4 players helping up Eve at Missouri. What did that photo mean to you guys as coaches? I mean, I know you guys all kind of put that on social media. I mean, what does it mean when you see that and can put that out there to people?
I posted it on Instagram. It was my it's the best photo I've seen since I've been in sport. High school, college, professionally, coaching. I've never seen a better photo, because when players fall down in games, you got to think about how tired the players are. You got to think about all the other places they could be on the court. You got to think about the communication that's going on during a dead ball. And I haven't seen it on film yet, but for those 4 guys to instinctively and automatically, that's really not anything we say it. You know, we always say help your teammates up, but it's nothing we were coaching in the moment in that game. Those 4 guys started and sprinted to Eve and got him up. And our program creed, Enom, it's not about me, is our guy. It's not just on a wall. Our guys really live by it. In that moment, you've seen it. In that moment, every one of those 4 guys was focused on Eve Pons. And I think, again, when you have that as the structure in your program, you know, everyone says the cliche, you know, it's amazing what can be accomplished when no one cares who gets the credit. I really believe that is becoming to be, you know, who this team is.
Ryan Shumpert and Ben McKee.
How important or how much of a glue guy is Herb Jones to this Alabama team, and how rare is it to see a guy of his size be able to handle the ball and kind of facilitate the way he does?
Yeah, he does it all. I mean, he's a hard playing point forward. He for them is what E. Pons is for us defensively. You know, he plays the 1. He creates matchup problems all over the court. For the first time in his career, he's really shooting the ball well from beyond the arc. He's being selective, but he's shooting 46% from 3 right now. You know, and for him to play 10 minutes the last game against Ole Miss, and for them to still play well and dominate, just goes to show you what his leadership does. You know, for those guys to still execute the game plan and beat a good Ole Miss team pretty handily is impressive. And even though he wasn't on the court, I think his imprint is still on his team. Being a senior, you know, missing games last year with his hand. I remember watching games last year, him out there with the cast on his shooting hand. So, I mean, him playing games with his offhand with the cast just showed you how much he means to their team and how much he wants to compete and play.
Coach, when you beat the number 12 team in the country, the perceived second best team in the conference by 20 on the road in the opener, to the viewer at home, it seems like a pretty flawless outing. But what has been the message from you all as coaches to the team in terms of getting better going into the second conference game?
If you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those 2 imposters just the same, is a quote by Rudyard Kipling from his poem If, and it rings true. You know, things are never as good as they seem. We watched the film and scrubbed it out like we do every game, and we fouled a little bit too much. We didn't take care of the ball. I think we could have shot better. I thought we could have got to the free throw line more. We could have been better. And yeah, we're one game in conference play. You don't know who's the best, let alone the second best. You know, we're still searching to find out we have the utmost respect for every single SEC opponent. And we go into every single game with that approach and not letting our guys get too high after wins or road wins, and not letting them get too low after DNPs or bad games or losses is the point of is the crux of having a good season. So yeah, our focus is next opponent. Our focus is next possession. Like we're trying to break it down even more, you know.
Rob Lewis, Grant Ramey.
Coach, just what was it like going back to Missouri? Maybe you did at Tulsa or Colorado, I don't know, but was that the first time you'd been there on the other bench? And this, kind of what was that experience like for you?
Breaking news here, Rob. I did it at Tennessee last season. But
oh, that's right. I thought you guys played him in Knoxville. That is right. You went to Columbia. It was the
second time going back as a coach, and it was good. Again, like you can't preach all these things about being in the moment and focusing on the possessions, and if you're going to be emotional as a coach, and so it's another game. It's another game. I mean, I obviously went to Missouri and played. That was many moons ago, and I'm a basketball coach at Tennessee, and really proud to be. And I want the Vols to win every time out, no doubt about it.
Kim, there could be one answer to this or a bunch, but what's something that has surprised you about this team since whatever it was, December 8th against Colorado?
Hopefully it keeps surprising me, but how hard we play, how hard our guys play. And I was at Colorado watching the Sweet 16 game against Purdue, and I remember thinking like, man, that is a high level game. The passing, the cutting, the speed, the shot making. I was blown away by the speed of that game. And I was thinking, okay, this is, it's Grant Williams and Admiral Schofield and Jordan Bone versus Carson Edwards and Jared Haas and all these great players. It was just a high level game late in March. But when I get to Knoxville and I'm at my first practice, that's just the way it is. That's just the pace, the heartbeat, the tempo of our practice. It's very fast, very hard, very competitive. And the games are there. The games are the same. And us keep, doing that. We said to the guys a few weeks ago, after a few not so great practices from the young guys who could all their lives just go through practice and then show up in the game, we were telling them that you don't rise to the occasion, you fall to the level of your preparation. And here, we really practice hard. We play really hard. That falling to the level of our preparation is not a long fall. And so I am surprised at how hard we continue to compete in games every single night and continuing to compete that hard in practice every single day. And I'm just hoping that I continue to be surprised by that.
We'll take a last call for questions for Coach English. All right. It's 19 high-level minutes. Coach, thank you. Everyone, appreciate it.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, Kim.